All right, Twitter's at it again, accused this time of some sneaky censorship, but in a very clever way. The Federalist co-founder Sean Davis tweeting that a transcript by anti-Trump lawyer Lisa Page, but the tweets were only visible to him, not any of his followers. In other words, he was like speaking into a vacuum, and otherwise he would not have been unaware of that. Twitter later admitting that it did make an error. We reached out to Twitter, said that we enforce the Twitter rules impartially for all users, regardless of their background or political affiliation, to Sean Davis himself. Sean, how did you pick up on this?
I picked up on it by random chance. I just happened to glance at my timeline and realized that a portion of testimony from Lisa Page's testimony before Congress was not getting any engagement. So I looked at it and opened up the link and thought that was weird, and then ended up opening it when I was logged out to discover that the link was dead. The tweet no longer existed, yet if you looked at it when I was in my account, it was there and present. It was like I was shouting into the wind all by myself.
So you picked up on that just going a little bit further than probably most users would and wondering, gee, no one's paying attention to me today, and they would have normally left it at that. What did the company tell you right after that? We've seen Twitter's statement, but how did they explain what was going on?
They never really did. I think almost a week went by before I got any sort of message from them. And what I eventually got, I posted a screenshot of on my Twitter account where they said, we strive to make sure people are safe, and we mistakenly removed some of your content, and we've restored it. And that was it. So I was never given an explanation. I was never told at the time why. I was never given a warning. And recall, this was just a simple statement summarizing testimony from a congressional witness. There was nothing controversial or hateful.
In other words, you've never
anything.
Run afoul with them in the past or done anything that has prompted any action, any silencing?
Never.
So what do you think was going on, and why do you think you were targeted?
I don't know. What I find actually more concerning than whether I was personally targeted for something I said was the fact that they allowed that content to be viewable to me while disappearing it for everyone else.
Yeah, that does make it a little different. That's going the extra mile here to, deceive someone here. Now, could be purely accidental and all, but that's what caught my attention. That they thought, all right, we're going to alienate this guy, and this guy won't know it. Now, you found a way to find out about it and do something about it, but I wonder if this is played out elsewhere.
Well, that was the concern I had, and the reason I was able to notice it is I have a big enough following, a big enough platform where when people aren't responding to something I've written, I can notice it because I have a baseline level of engagement that I usually see. But for most people who have regular jobs and they hop on Twitter every now and again with 100 followers and a couple tweets, they don't have that baseline to judge from. So if they're being throttled back or shadow banned,
right? So
correct, none.
See, if they were really good at this, they would have found a way to get some fake responses to you. That's really awful of me to even intimate that, but that's what was that was how they did it, right?
Right, and the problem that Twitter has is, yes, it's a private company. It can handle its users or its accounts however it wants, but other social media giants which have done similar things like Facebook and Google, they're protected by federal law. They have an exemption in there that says if they're neutral platforms for content, they can't be held liable for what people, third parties put on their platform. So they get exempt from a whole bunch of liability. They're immune from certain suits, but it relies on them being actual neutral platforms. And what we're seeing over and over again is that they're not neutral. They're putting their thumbs on the scale. They're using their algorithm to hide content, and they need to pick and choose whether they want these federal safe harbors or whether they want to be a content provider that controls the conversation.
Well, good for you. I don't think you have to be on the right or the left to commend someone who something wasn't smelling right and he got to the bottom of it. Remind me not to mess with you, Sean. But thank you very much. Very good having you.
Thank you, sir.
Andrew Napolitano here, Judge. That's right.